Right now, Ripple is pursuing two massive market opportunities that I think most of the XRP community is completely sleeping on. In this video, I want to share with you what Ripple is expanding into right now because I believe this has tremendous opportunities to bring value to XRP, the token, and make Ripple the leader in providing institutional grade blockchain services for the traditional financial industry. Guys, these two things are extremely exciting. They're not being reported on widely right now. In this video, I want to show you where Ripple is expanding with XRP. This is extremely exciting. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, as stated in the intro, right now, Ripple is making two massive pushes into two industries that I don't think a lot of people are really paying enough attention to. The first one is kind of obvious, but I want to break that one down first. But the second one is extremely exciting, and I don't think anyone else is really focused on this right now. Ripple has a completely different vision for what the future of the cryptocurrency industry is going to look like. And personally, I think this future is highly likely to play out. So the first thing Ripple is making a massive push into right now is institutional DeFi. Now, this DeFi is going to look a lot different than the DeFi we see today. Yes, it's going to be decentralized finance, but it's going to be built into centralized software. Big institutions do not want to have to go all over the blockchain ether, send coins back and forth between wallets, trust anonymous founders to get yield in this ecosystem. Instead, they want to be provided a single interface they can leverage and use their tokens in DeFi. What we are seeing right now is Ripple is the leader in bringing centralized software to most of the traditional institutions. The traditional institutions hold all the value. They hold all the bonds, all the stocks, all the real estate. They own all the value. The goal for Ripple is to take this value and bring it onto the blockchain. Because Ripple has the tech, Ripple has the liquidity, but what they don't have is the assets. So Ripple is building centralized software for these big institutions so that they can ultimately be onboarded into blockchain ecosystems. Now, Ripple is building more than just centralized software. They're also building private blockchains so that these institutions can set up their own private systems that ultimately hook up to public liquidity. Public liquidity is always going to be DeFi. You are always going to need a public chain for DeFi, and ultimately, the neutral liquidity in the XRP ledger system that is going to power all the DeFi opportunities is XRP itself. So I believe Ripple is taking the right approach here. Rather than expecting institutions with almost no knowledge of the blockchain industry to come figure it out and get used to just having to figure out their own DeFi systems, build their own processes, and know how to trust, what Ripple is doing is they are just providing a simple interface, a simple ecosystem that these institutions can leverage. And let me just give you one exciting example of something Ripple could do. Right now, we know that Ripple is making a massive push into payments. What if instead of having to pay people with a token that didn't earn you yield, you could pay people with something like a money market fund? That way, when you were doing payments, you were still earning yield the entire time your money was sitting idle. Right now, we pay each other as essentially just fiat currency, and that fiat currency doesn't get any kind of yield. But when you hold your money in a bank account, when you hold it in a brokerage account, you are getting yield because it's a money market fund. But if you tokenize the money market fund, which stays stable at $1 and are able to send it back and forth to people, well, then essentially you are sending back and forth not only value, but value that is also creating a yield. So this is a great example of a very, very, very simple product that Ripple can build into their current system that would make it so institutions were essentially leveraging DeFi without even knowing it. And I really do believe these are going to be the type of opportunities Ripple pursues in the future. They aren't going to want to have institutions to have to go all over the blockchain realm to figure out which products they can leverage safely. Instead, Ripple wants to bring it to these institutions all in one place, and therefore they can get the benefits of blockchain technology. They can get the benefits of DeFi without being experts in this ecosystem. I believe this is going to be a home run for Ripple. They have already made massive strides in onboarding these institutions into payments. And as these institutions get more and more comfortable with the benefits of blockchain technology, they are going to want more. Ripple is going to be providing them institutional DeFi that's easy for them to use, things that are low risk, things they can get involved in and know it's vetted by professionals. These are what these institutions are going to want, and I think this is going to be a winning strategy for Ripple going forward. One last note on this is no one else is really doing this. Everyone else in the blockchain industry is screaming down to the banks. We're going to disrupt the banks. We're going to disrupt the institutions with our technology. Ripple is taking this technology and packaging them into a Ripple is taking this technology, packaging it into a digestible product so that they can actually use it with the immense amount of value they already hold. Now, the next thing Ripple is doing, and I believe this could be extremely exciting if executed well. I think this one's going to be much harder to execute on, but ultimately, I believe it's the other half of what Ripple really wants to do, and that's to consolidate the blockchain industry to ultimately make XRP the premier DEX for every cryptocurrency out there. What does this mean? Right now, what Ripple is trying to do is make it so the XRP ledger is a DEX that handles all transactions. So you want to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum, XRP and the XRP ledger would ultimately be the DEX and liquidity source to make that happen. This has been something that's been brought up a lot recently by Ripple's DeFi team. They want to make the XRP ledger the premier DEX for all of crypto. So if you need an illiquid token swap and you need that to happen in a decentralized way, you go to the XRP ledger without even knowing you went to the XRP ledger. What does that mean? The XRP ledger is essentially acting as a super DEX in the background to facilitate trades without you even knowing it. So you would be able to send Bitcoin over to the Ethereum chain and have the XRP ledger be the thing that actually provided the liquidity for that swap on the back end without you ever even knowing it. Guys, I believe this could be that holy grail product that could change the entire cryptocurrency industry. Finally, make it easy to use so that you could go from chain to chain and leverage whatever opportunity you wanted. Now, how the technicals are going to work on this, that's where I don't know. What I do know is Ripple has made it very clear that this is something they want to pursue. And if they can do this correctly, I really do believe it could be the holy grail of connecting the entire blockchain ecosystem. What we have right now is Ripple working with the centralized counterparties, and that has been extremely obvious. Ripple working with the traditional institutions to onboard them into blockchain. That was the whole first half of this video, what we were talking about, getting the institutions in. But the other half of what Ripple is doing here is making the blockchain ecosystem itself better, easier to use, more liquid. And if XRP can really be that liquidity source for not only traditional financial assets, but also decentralized financial assets or cryptocurrencies themselves, that could be the holy grail of the entire blockchain industry. I cannot wait to see Ripple's strategy and how they go about this, because what they are working on, I believe, could be the holy grail of this entire cryptocurrency thing. If they can really make XRP the premier crypto liquidity for every cryptocurrency out there and make the XRP ledger's native DEX the premier DEX, the DEX of all DEXs, the DEX that connects everything, that would be absolutely outstanding and make it so XRP sat as this pristine collateral, not only in the centralized world, but in the decentralized world as well. Now, like I said, I think this vision is going to be a lot harder to execute on than what Ripple is doing with institutional DeFi. Believe it or not, I actually think institutional DeFi is kind of easy. Ripple has been one of the few companies making progress with onboarding these institutions. Ripple has been one of the few companies working with these institutions on a one-off basis, and I believe these institutions are going to be foaming at the mouth to get access to DeFi when they know they can do it compliantly. When it comes to XRP being a neutral liquidity source for all blockchain swaps and having the XRP ledger be a super DEX for the entire industry, that's something that Ripple doesn't have as strong of a foothold on. Ripple is going to have to build a very, very competitive product here and be able to hook up to all these different chains, ultimately facilitate orders through the XRP ledger, and make sure there's enough liquidity there to do so. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I really do believe that could be the biggest opportunity out there. It's also something that I really haven't heard a lot of other projects directly talking about in the way Ripple wants it to work. I am fully on board with Ripple's strategy here. I think it could be a home run. but I'm not entirely sure how they necessarily execute on it. So that's what I'm really excited to see going forward. Can Ripple actually make XRP a super DEX for all of crypto? And for XRP to be the liquidity that underpins all these illiquid trades, guys, if Ripple is able to do this, it would be earth-shattering for the entire cryptocurrency industry and position and solidify XRP as key infrastructure to the future of blockchain. I already believe XRP has already been positioned to be key infrastructure for onboarding traditional financial institutions into blockchain. But if you could also have XRP sitting between blockchains themselves and being that super liquid asset that connects everything on the back end, I really do believe that could be the holy grail of this entire cryptocurrency thing. Guys, let me know what you think. Obviously, these are two longer-term visions for Ripple, but I really do believe Ripple is moving in the right path here to really transform not only the traditional financial system, but the decentralized financial system as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.